Hey everyone, welcome to Plant Powered Yogi TV. I am Carrie, and today on the mat we have a abs and back workout. So if you are looking to get that midsection in shape for summer, this is going to be a great short practice for you, something that you can do every day and won't take too much of your time. So important thing to remember, that if you actually want those abs to show, those muscles that you're developing through a practice like this, you need to pay attention to the diet. It's the diet that's going to help the fat melt away so that the muscles can actually be seen. So if you haven't been in the kitchen with me today, definitely grab a kitchen video and start to learn about whole plant foods that will help you to get into the best health ever and to get to the place where you feel good and happy in your body, and it all works together. So join me on the mat today, but get in the kitchen with me if you really want those ab muscles to start to show. So let's get to work. So coming to a seated position on your mat, just find that comfortable place. Let everything else go, just to be here now for your practice. Lift your heart and keep your shoulders rolled open. And just come into the breath, breathing deeply. As you inhale, stretch your arms up, bringing your palms together over your head, and exhaling your hands to your heart. Just bow your head towards your fingertips, close your eyes, and just take a moment to focus on the breath, just really tuning into how you're feeling. And we're going to inhale, reach the hands back up the center, and exhale, release them out to the sides. Good. Taking your feet out now, let's place the hands on the shins and just begin to open the spine a little bit. So we inhale and we lift the heart and roll open, and exhale and we round the back and squeeze the air out. Inhaling, lifting the heart, rolling the shoulders open, and exhaling, rounding your back. Good. Just keep going back and forth at your own pace, allowing your breath to be what initiates the movement. We're going to take the hands behind us now, fingers pointed at the feet, heel of your hand right below your shoulder as you lift your hips up, coming into reverse tabletop. Let your head drop back if that's comfortable. If it's not, you can keep your chin tucked into your chest. Keep pressing the heart up and the hips up and breathing nice and deep. All four corners of your feet plugged in firmly into the floor. Your feet are hip width and your knees are also hip width apart. Big deep breaths. And as you exhale, releasing and dropping the hips back to the floor. Just taking a couple breaths here of rest. And then we're going to do it again. Inhaling, lifting the hips, lifting the heart, and dropping the head back if that's comfortable for you. Nice big deep breaths, just enjoying this feeling of stretch. It is a challenging pose, but just be here for it. Breathe deep and use your breath to help you get through this pose. Nice. And as you exhale, go ahead and return back to the floor. Bring your feet right together and take your hands to your shins. For a moment, we're going to pull up on the legs, coming into this ab exercise here. So the heart's lifted, the low back's lifted, and we're just tapping each alternate toe onto the floor. Keep breathing nice and deep. Keep your shoulders relaxed and your face relaxed. If you need to hold your legs, you can do that. Just make sure that you're challenging your strength. Good, and just holding this pose here, this half boat pose, Navasana. Good, just hang in there, nice job. And go ahead and release. And we're going to come into inclined plane here. So have the feet right together and legs right together. We're going to lift the hips. So very similar to the reverse tabletop, except this time our legs are straight. So we're really challenging the back strength here, the back muscles, and all of the core muscles as we lift the heart up. And again, head can be dropped back like you see mine, or you can keep your chin tucked into your chest. And as you exhale, go ahead and release. And we're going to come back into Navasana. This time I've got my legs straight, but if you need them to be bent like they were before, that's okay. Just keep your low back lifting and your heart lifting. It's better to bend the knees and to keep the back in a nice position and good alignment than it would be to straighten the legs and really round in the back and collapse in the chest. So releasing the pose now, and go ahead, straighten your legs. We're going to do one more incline plane. So lifting up, feet are rolled right together, legs together nice and strong. If this is just too challenging, you can always do the reverse tabletop with the feet apart and the legs bent. Big deep breaths here, just really staying focused, pressing up out of the chest and hips. Good, and exhaling, releasing. Crossing your legs and just rolling forward as you come into this nice forward fold. Feels really good after those poses that we just did. Just let yourself relax. And then inhale, coming all the way up. And we're going to switch the foot that is in the front. So just switch your feet, place the other one in front, and then go ahead and fold forward. And just make sure that you're folding forward from the hips here. So we're not really looking to really round the back and try to push the head toward the floor. We want to fold right at the hips. Just breathing nice and deep. And then inhale, go ahead and come on up. And take your legs out, and we're going to come down onto the elbows here. So stay propped up onto the elbows, pull your knees in, and then extend the legs out as straight as you can. So just back and forth here. So as you exhale when you pull your knees in, and then inhale as you stretch them out. Just find your own rhythm, your own pace here. Good, nice work. Make sure you keep breathing, using the breath. And releasing. Crossing your legs, rolling over your knees, and coming over onto your knees and elbows. We're going to go right into a elbow plank here. So really challenging the core strength with these plank poses. So the shoulders are lined up right over your elbows, and your feet are hip width apart. If this is too intense, you can also place your knees down. Just make sure that you keep your hips nice and low so that your shoulders are in line with your knees. Good, keep breathing nice and deep, and then exhale, releasing, walking your knees forward a little bit, and go ahead and come back into child pose. So you can have your knees close together for this, or if it's more comfortable to place them further apart, just go ahead and put some space between your knees. Just relaxing in this child pose. And we're going to come back up onto the elbows for another elbow plank. Again, hips need to be right in line between the shoulders and the knees and the feet. If your knees are down, then your hips would obviously go down as well. Just keep breathing. Your head is in line with your spine. Nice deep breaths. Good, and exhaling, coming down onto the knees, and we're going to do this little half down dog here, this puppy stretch. So reaching way forward with the hands and keeping the sitting bones lifting high, the hips lifting high. And we want to just allow the forehead to be on the mat if it reaches. Just really feeling the lengthening of the spine and the openness of the shoulders. Good. And then coming back into a plank as we're going to bring the knees to the alternate elbows, cross-body mountain climbers. So you don't have to do this quickly, you just want to really squeeze that knee in toward the opposite elbow. Staying nice and controlled, keep the hips nice and low. Keep breathing. Good. And then we're going to exhale and go into downward facing dog. So feet are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart, sitting bones lifting high. If you need to bend your knees in this down dog, that's totally fine. You want to keep your heels dropping low. Open the armpits nice and wide, pressing away from the floor. And then lining your shoulders up over your wrists. We're going to come into a side plank pose here. So right hand goes into the center, rolling over onto the sides of the feet as you reach up into the air. So if this is too difficult, this is a really challenging pose. You can keep that lower leg bent with the knee on the floor. And then exhale, coming down, going back into regular plank pose, holding here for a few moments. Nice big deep breaths. You can drop to the knees if you need to. And then we're going to side plank on the left side. So move your left hand into the center, roll to the outside edge of your left foot, or place your left knee on the ground. And really pressing the hips up, the chest up, the rib cage up. Breathing. Nice. And then exhaling, releasing back down, coming into that plank pose and breathing. It's a lot of core work right now, a lot of great moves for the abs and the back. Then we're going to lower all the way down to the floor as you exhale. Taking your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and we're going to inhale, coming up with the legs and the arms and the chest and the head. So everything is lifting here. And you're breathing nice and deep. So try to keep your legs as close together as you possibly can. Squeeze those arms toward one another, those shoulder blades toward each other. Keep breathing. If you need to rest, you can always come out of this sooner. We're going to exhale and release and turn your head to the side and just relax for a few breaths. Now we're going to go ahead and do it again. So interlacing your fingers behind your back and squeezing everything up. Heart lifting, shoulders lifting, arms lifting, legs lifting. Keep breathing. It's a great pose to strengthen the back muscles and the glutes. And exhale, go ahead and release. Turn your head to the opposite side and just relax for a few breaths. Go ahead placing your hands right next to your chest, wrists right below your elbows, toes tucked under, and pressing into a low push-up position or a chaturanga dandasana. You can leave your knees down if this is just too difficult to do it without them on the floor. And then pressing up like a push-up, and we're going to come into down dog as you exhale. Breathing nice and deep. Palms and fingertips pressing into the floor. We're going to inhale, take the shoulders back over the wrists and coming into that plank pose as we take the right leg up. So try to keep your right leg as straight as possible and just keep breathing here. I know this is challenging. You can drop down onto the left knee if you need to. And go ahead and release that foot and then take the other one up. Big deep breaths. Abs are squeezing, really working every muscle through the core. Nice work. And releasing the foot and exhaling, downward facing dog. And inhaling, we're going to take the right knee now toward the nose, and then exhale, and the left knee goes toward the nose. So alternating here from the down dog, squeezing each knee toward the nose and really squeezing it in. Try to make a connection there between your knee and your nose. Nice. Just keep going back and forth at your own pace. Good. And returning to the down dog and breathing deep. And inhale, we're going to walk the feet up. Go ahead and sit back down onto the mat. So we're going to go ahead and lie down on the mat, taking your knees with you, hugging them into your chest, and releasing them, placing your feet flat on the floor and your feet hip width apart, your arms by your sides. And we're going to go ahead and raise the right leg up toward the ceiling, and we're going to lift the hips up and down here. So working the glutes and the back muscles as we have that right leg straight up, like we want to put a footprint on the ceiling, that foot nice and flexed. So just find your own rhythm here, and if it's too much to do this with the right leg lifted, you can just have both feet on the floor. Keep breathing. Try not to lower all the way to the floor when you're doing these. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side. So if you notice that when I lift up, when I come back down, I'm not going all the way to the floor. I'm holding just about an inch above the floor. So that really keeps all the muscles working and nice and active. Good, just finding your own rhythm. Releasing that, placing both feet now back on the floor and hugging the knees in toward the chest. So we're going to stretch out the glute muscles now. Take your right leg over your left like you're crossing your legs, like you would be sitting in a chair, and then just reach for your furthest knee and pull that in. So you should really feel this in the glutes, in that right butt cheek. And then go ahead and release and switch to the other side. Cross the left over right, and then reach for your furthest knee and pull in. Now you should feel that on the left side. Keep breathing. And then go ahead and release. Hug both knees in towards your chest. Keep just your right knee in as you extend your left leg out, and then as you exhale, bring your knee toward your nose, and then switch. And we're never returning the feet to the floor here. We're hovering that leg above the floor. So as you release, you want to let go a little bit, and then as you bring the other knee in, then squeeze that knee in and toward the nose. Keep breathing as you do this. You can inhale as you release, exhale as you squeeze in. Always keeping one leg hovering above the floor. Find your own pace with this. Keep breathing nice and deep. Nice, and go ahead and release. And then stretch your arms over your head, stretch your legs out straight, get really, really nice and long. Just feel how good that feels. And then go ahead, take both knees into your chest again, put your arms on the floor like a T, and as you exhale, drop your knees over to the left and turn your head toward the right. You'll place your left hand on your legs if it helps to deepen that twist. Try to keep both shoulders on the ground. Just breathe deeply into your back ribs. As you inhale, bring the knees back up. And as you exhale, twisting over to the other side, turning your head in the opposite direction. Big deep breaths into the back. And inhale, bringing the knees back up. Go ahead and release your legs. And we're coming into shavasana here, corpse pose, for final relaxation. So just allowing your body to rest on the floor. Keep your eyes closed. You can stay here for as long as you like. Don't feel like you need to rush. Don't feel like you need to just get up as soon as the video is over. You can just rest here in this position for as long as you would like to. Just let all of your body release and relax on the floor. And just let that yoga practice sink in. Just enjoy this time of complete relaxation.